everybody. Pleasure to be at Mining Disrupt, where we have all these brilliant minds and miners coming together to collaborate and talk about information. Today, I'm going to give a presentation on immersion cooling, and I want to go through, oh, we're up there, good, and talk about some of the problems, some of the challenges we see with air deployments, get you to really think about that current state that your mining operation's in, and think about what's that future state look like? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? So a lot of times when we talk about technology, I love getting into the nitty-gritty of tech, but tech is always a tool to get us to that solution. What's it going to do for me? How are we going to use it? So the problem. We're going to talk about some of the problems. I'm sure there may be more, but we've got grid stability, securing properties with favorable power cost. And it's not just about favorable power costs, right? We talk about grid stability, securing properties. We've seen what happened in Texas. We've seen those challenges that have come across. And so everyone wants the lowest power possible, right? But you also want reliable power that's going to ensure you're going to be able to run 24/7, right? Then we've got challenging climate areas. It's one of the biggest demands for power right now in North America we've ever seen. And so now people are looking at properties all over the United States, Canada, everywhere, you name it. And a lot of those particular areas have challenging climate areas. We've also got time to deployment. We've got costs of crypto production. You've got meeting your ESG and renewable goals and community acceptance. So these are some of the challenges you guys typically see when you guys are out there looking for properties. How am I going to deploy? Can I be on time, right? Making sure that you execute, making sure deliverability is there for you. And so we're going to talk to you about how some of those things Immersion can help with. So the 5 principles of success that we've seen to make an operation a success is reliability. So the reliability of the people you're working with, we like to partner with our clients, our customers, make sure that we're working with them, understanding their specific needs. So we don't make them fit our model. We like to learn where are you going, where are you headed, and how can we help you. So that plays into the efficiency part of it, right? We want the system to work efficiently. It's got to work perfect for you, right? We've got to do the best job to meet your goals and be as profitable as you can be, which leads us also into profitability, right? Everyone cares about what's my cost per terahash, what's my watts per terahash, what's my ROI, what's my cost to mine a Bitcoin, what's my cost to mine that particular coin, right? So you've got sustainability. Immersion provides sustainability because when you're overclocking your miners 30, 40, 50%, you're buying 30, 40, 50% less miners. That's less e-waste going into the environment. You're saving anything you do on HVAC. Maybe you guys are using HVAC, maybe you're doing a passive air system or free cooling, whatever that may be, but that's another benefit. And then the fluid we provide is completely biodegradable, organic, non-toxic, 30-year shelf life at least, so you're not replacing that fluid at all. So we're going to talk about how you can gain a significant edge by using immersion cooling. So when evaluating an immersion system and choosing an immersion partner, I want to talk with you guys about what to look for, right? I want to talk more to you guys today about the problems you may have, some provoking things that make you think about how does that affect my operation, how does it affect my ROI, how does it affect my ability to get investors and meet my growth goals. So one of the things that we do at EdgeData Solutions is we are a total solution provider. We've partnered with groups like Raptor Power Systems. We're exclusive with them on immersion and them for power. They've got over 5 gigawatts of deployments. They're a fantastic partner of ours. I'll talk a little bit more about them as well. But so we offer everything from power all the way down to your immersion system, all the way down to miners, consulting, procurement through the partners we work with. Kaboom Racks is another one we talk about. But the important part about a total solution is that you're de-risking your operation because you have one group that works together very well. And that way you're not trying to pull pieces from different places in order to get your operation to work. It definitely will work, don't get me wrong. You can pull from different areas, I totally get that. But we've taken an approach that says, let's provide as much as we can to you and fill in our resources around what you have. So I'm gonna go through some of this stuff a little quicker because of the time that we have. But everything, as I mentioned, from power, our immersion systems, the fluid, miner optimization and sourcing, project management and consulting, as well as installation. So one of the things you'll even see on our team is we've invested very heavily in the R&D, the performance of our tanks, and our team to service our clients. We believe we want to invest more in servicing you, making sure you're getting the right support that you need, and really guide you through the entire operation while helping you scale. So some of these things start with planning and execution. The very beginning of your operation, how you set up the foundation and the infrastructure from the very beginning is what's going to determine your success. So when we go out with a client, we find out what is the site drawings. Let's go out on site. Let's see what you're going to build, right? We bid out in 2.5 megawatt blocks, whether you're doing 20 megawatts, 40 megawatts, 10 megawatts, 2.5 megawatt blocks. So a lot of times the guy would say, hey, Dan, I've got a 20 megawatt site. I want to start with 5 megawatts. Perfect. We need to know those things so that we set it up from the very beginning that you're going to scale and we're going to set up the operation that way. Everything from how you're going to bring the miners in, where's your workshop going to be, how are you going to test the miners before you immerse them, things like that. So again, going back to Raptor Power Systems, fantastic company we work with. They're in our partner booth. You come around, you guys can see us there. They have the highest density power equipment. They're the gold standard in the industry. We work on a lot of different projects, a lot of special products that they make just for us. So everything from your transformers, your panels, your PDUs, cables, etc. So this is our brand new immersion tank that we announced at BTC 2022. It's a 194 kilowatt tank. Single phase dual loop solution is what we produce. It's very important to know. We analyze dual phase. It's got great benefits as well, but we thought single phase was a much better solution for how we were going to roll these things out. And so the dual loop means that all the fluid is isolated in the tank. We do not pump that around to the dry coolers or cooling towers, whatever it may be. And we have a pump and a heat exchanger at the bottom, which is how we circulate everything. So we assign a certain set of tanks to each block. Some companies want additional redundancy, so we build in redundancies, extra pumps, because now what you're having is a much more data center-centered mine, because that's really what we're building, right? It's a data center. Whether we're doing enterprise or crypto, whatever it is, we're building data centers. And so we can fit up to 33 S19 or S19 XP style miners, 54 M30 miners. We've got the Poseidon Smart PDU. I won't go into all the technical details, but the reason we went to 194 kilowatts is you've got 33 miners. And at the end of December, we started overclocking S19s. We had heard all the numbers, all the fantastic information we were getting and said, let's test this first, let's run it stable, and then let's announce it to our customers. So we went and started modifying S19s and broke records at the end of December for overclocking S19s. So 33 miners, with that single PDU, we can run 5,780 watts per miner with a single PDU, smart PDU, temperature sensors, variable drive pumps, you name it. So by doing that, it has really allowed us to continue to innovate and allow us to produce a better product for our customers. Scalability, that's another big one we talk about, right? So repeatable, 2.5 megawatt blocks, right? What do you guys want to do? What's the block size that works best for you? So everything from modular we offer as well, everything from a 400 kilowatt container, and it's really a modular solution rather than container. We do that actually to spread out the width and give you a little bit more space to move around in. But anything from 400 kilowatts all the way up to 2.5 megawatts in a single containerized solution. And by doing that, regardless of whether you're doing containers or you're doing tanks inside a building, we're creating that scalable model for you. And when you're thinking about doing modular, the questions I always ask is, why? Let's understand really why you guys are doing what you're doing. Hey, Dan, I want to be able to pick up my toys and leave if the power purchase agreement doesn't come what I want it to be at after the end of 5 years. Makes perfect sense. And so we like to walk through those things with you, dig in deeper about your goals and what you're doing so we understand and give you the best options and route to go across. Miner procurement and consulting. We work with Kaboom Racks to help us with some of our miner procurement, consulting as well. They're another one of the partners that we work with. So that's why, as I mentioned before, that total solution is bringing in people that are experts in their field, bringing in Raptor, bringing in Kaboom Racks, so that when we come together, you get all of our teams. You get all of those brilliant minds that are coming in for you to help you out. What I'm showing you here, when I mention consulting, it's that we're going to help you understand what immersion does for overclocking. We're going to help you look at the efficiency curves. Some people say, Dan, I want to mine as much Bitcoin as I possibly can, put the throttle down, let's go. Some say, I want to be more efficient. So we like to walk you through those things and help you understand what does that really mean so that you could run the right Excel sheets, your performas, when you're presenting to investors, that you actually have accurate information that you can stand behind, especially in a challenging climate right now for investing. So I'm going to go over this quick too. Some of the big benefits of immersion: you're going to reduce your capex on miners 20 to 50% because you're buying less miners, right? Reducing your OpEx because you save about 5-6% just by removing the fans and reducing some of the overhead HVAC. Reduced maintenance and equipment life. Constant chip temperatures, that's a big one. Chips that are fluctuating in temperature all the time and swelling, that causes a lot of degradation. It runs quietly, and you're future-proofing your operation. Because if for some reason they come out with a crazy miner that's just completely different dimensions, all we have to do is replace the tank. All the other infrastructure is there for you. And so when we talk about it, on the big benefits is, I want people to think about what is my actual maintenance cost, right? What is the average failure rate of my mine? Some people have that, some people don't. How does that impact your bottom line? So when you're thinking about, well, Dan, I don't know if I should do immersion. I don't know, does it make sense? It's a little bit more expensive. And what I'm going to show you in the next slides is why it is so beneficial, why it makes sense, and it's the future of mining. And we're seeing a lot of companies starting to switch to that. So, real quick, I gave this similar presentation at another conference, but miners were about 10 grand then for S19 Pros. So we ran this with a $4,100 cost. Let's just say cost per megawatt, right? Air versus immersion. I've got a 100 terahash unit, 3,250 watts, 295 S19s is what it takes to fill a megawatt. Total miner cost $1.2 million. I'm getting 29,500 terahash. Let's say it's $100,000 for an air facility. My cost per terahash is $41. Okay. Let's say I overclock the machines. I'm at 155 terahash. Let's say 5,650 watts. Now it takes 175 miners to fill that megawatt. It's only $717,500 for those miners. My hash rate is lower. My capex for immersion for the actual system is about another 150,000 or so. But my cost per terahash was down to $26, 37% less. I'm saving $342,000 by deploying immersion. So a lot of the things that people talk about is, when we do immersion, I get a lot of concerns when they come up to the booth and they talk to us. Hey, I thought about immersion, but I heard it's expensive. So we walk them through those particular calculations so they see that. Oh, is it really messy? Is it really dirty? Is it hard to maintain? Absolutely not. That's the point of immersion. Put the miners in there, let them run. If you need to take them out, that's not a problem. We have specific solutions for that. No issues there. So what I wanted to come back to and say is that it's really built on who you're partnering with, how you're running the system, and partnering truly with that client in order to make sure their operation's a success. So again, we just went back to our 5 pillars. But I wanted to thank everybody for the time. We have our booth number 56. We're right around the corner there with Raptor. We've got our new tank. You can come check it out, come meet us. We'd love to set up some time to speak with you, analyze your properties, tell us what you guys are doing, tell us about your operations, and then we can put together a nice plan for you and some options you have. But thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.
We have time for some questions if you guys want to ask some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, I'm coming over, hold on.
Hey, how's it going? So my question is, for the S19 Pros, would you need to replace the power supply that comes with it?
Absolutely.
With something
so we didn't
that's
talk about that.
higher
Yeah,
capacity?
absolutely. So originally we had a 152 kilowatt tank because the units couldn't run more than 4,200, 4,300 watts, right? So now you do replace it with a 6 kilowatt power supply or an 8 kilowatt power supply unit. Kaboom Racks helps us out with those as well. Brian's in the back there. He's a very brilliant mind of mining. Hello, Brian. And so replace the power supply unit. It's not the fact that you can't cool the power supply unit. It's the fact that the physical hardware can't go above that. So we replace with a 6 kilowatt mod or 6 kilowatt power supply unit. We typically use Vinesh on all of our projects that we're running. And that's what allows you to overclock it past that range. Absolutely. Thank you.
More questions, guys? This is free information over here. Education is important, always.
Hey, do you have any data on the resale of units that have been immersion cooled versus HVAC cooled? Like, are people more likely to buy something that's gone through immersion cooling versus something that's gone air cooling?
No, that's a great question, and I get asked that all the time. What if I want to resell my miners? It's very easy. You pull it out. We can put it through a 99.9% isopropyl alcohol bath. You can ultrasonic clean it. Actually, we don't have specific data, but there's a lot of people in the industry that their opinion is those miners are going to be worth quite a bit more or actually worth more than if they've been run in an air-cooled facility, right? Because they haven't been getting beat up. They've been in immersion protected in that little fluid that's helping it out, right? So I'd say you probably get a better value for that. You put the fans back on, and off you go.